Alright, well, hello everyone and welcome to the 7th round of the Formula SimRacing 2014 A Series. We are here in Germany at the Hockenheimring, and after a long summer break we are back, yes. So what a place to be back, the Hockenheimring. A very interesting circuit setup wise really. You need to find a good balance with the technical final sector. Currently the qualifying is on the way, only 2 minutes left in qualifying, so we've had some technical difficulties, but we are back, well, back up I should say, after the long summer break as said before. Currently Patrick Holzman is in pole, well, currently is quickest with a 15.4, and Daniel is in second, so Twister is doing good already. But remember that only the top 10 will continue to the final qualifying with the top 10 shootout. Currently is Thomas Mundy in 10th place, 15.4. It's quite close there actually, with Danny van der Niet and Liedner too. So, well, today I am joined by James Sadler. James, welcome to you, and what do you expect here?
I'm definitely expecting a great race, as always, which comes with FSR. You know, Patrick's having a good time, Thomas is looking strong, Daniel Kiss is finally back in the A Series. He's been away for quite a while now, but I'm glad to see him back in FSR. Shootout, man, very close between Patrick Holzman and Jeroen now, so I'm really looking forward to this race. It could be a very exciting race.
Yeah, I do agree with you. The components we are running for this race are the soft and the super soft. So interesting choice here, because the super soft is really quick, but obviously wears off quite quickly too. So we see Thomas Savelli still in 6th position. I think he is about to start his lap. Yes, Thomas Savelli is indeed starting his lap. As we heard as well, the admin, the moderator here saying, well, keep the track limits in your mind, because it's very easy to extend the track limits here, and that is definitely not what we want to see. So yeah, keep it within the track limits, guys.
Yeah, indeed.
Having a look at the championship, currently Jerry Toman leads by 47 points over Mohammed Patel. Johnny Seaman is in 3rd position and Conti in 4th, and Conti is actually worth mentioning because I think Conti has received penalty and has to start from the back of the grid in both races, so both in the sprint race and well, the feature race. The race 1 will be 40 laps long and race 2 will be 20 laps long, so interesting.
Yeah, indeed it is. I think he has got back at the grid penalty, just to confirm it. But Patrick Holzman's going quickest. He's up on his personal best lap time, which is currently the fastest time, which is a 15.4. Do you want to take us around the rest of the lap, Jeroen?
Oh yeah, of course I do. So here he enters this tricky final section, which is indeed very, very tricky. Carries a lot of speed through that corner there, which is indeed very important. As he opens up this hairpin, and the exit here is so important. You don't want to get any overs there, then swing it into turn 16 and the final corner, turn 17. Very, very stable. Let's see if he can improve. Runs a little bit wide, but what can he do? A 150.4, so he cannot improve. But we're looking at the 10th spot. Currently Peter Hambro in 10th, and the only two guys who can improve their times are Fabrizio Gobbi, who comes through the final corner. See if he can improve. He needs to improve by 1.2 seconds in order to go to the top 10 shootout, which he cannot do. He does 116.9, puts him up into 13th place. Sebastian Danko did manage to improve himself either, so that is the top 10 done.
So we're now heading into Q2, which will be in Parc Ferme, where you'll only be able to make limited changes to the driver's setups, and it's going to be a really exciting qualifying here, definitely, because you know there are some really fast drivers in the A Series, and we've actually got we've got more people in the A Series, thankfully, instead of having 14 people racing, so it makes it more interesting, makes it more so we can talk about some more racing in the A Series.
Yeah, for sure, and I think someone to look out for in the race is Thomas Mundy. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he is not in the top 10. but usually Thomas Mundy is someone to really look out for in the race. So maybe he is able to make up a few positions. Maybe he even will start on the soft tire. You don't know what the people are going to do outside the top 10. Maybe go for a different strategy and start on the soft tire instead of the super soft. But then even Anit cannot wait. He goes out on track first, so he will be the first to set his lap time. I think Peter Hempro is out on track too. Yeah, he is indeed. Norbert Liedner too. Daniel Kiss is out, and Patel just exited the pit too. But then even Anit is the first one to set his lap time. You only get one chance here, and only the top 10 are allowed to participate in this Q2 session. 5 minutes long, 4 minutes left right now. So already a minute has passed as Danny Van Niet is entering the technical section. As said before, it really is a technical section. You need quite a high downforce setup here, but at the same time you do have quite a long straight before the hairpin in sector 2, where you need a good top speed, especially in the race. We will see some overtaking there, I think, in front of that hairpin. Anyway, Danny Van Niet is going to start his lap, so let's see what a lap around Hockenheim looks like. The first corner, let's see if he takes it flat out. No, he doesn't. Definitely a lift before the corner as he opens up to corners 2, 3 and 4, which is very difficult and very important too for your lap time. So let's see, he needs to go on the power early, which he does indeed. He has a 16.9 first sector, which is not too bad as he opens up his DRS and he reached 319 kilometers an hour, which is quite a bit actually, slowing the car down for the hairpin. He didn't have a good hairpin, I think. I think he missed his apex slightly, went quite deep in there. That must have compromised his exit too, as he heads now into corner 8, which is well, quite tricky too, especially the exit as you open up corners 10 and 11 here. Now let's see what he does. 36.0 middle sector, that is average. Then the technical section, turn 12 coming up to turn 30. Now goes very deep in there. Actually, that definitely compromised him. That definitely cost him 1 or 2 tenths, I would say. Now turn 16 carries a lot of speed into there. Turn 17, the final turn, gets early on the throttle, once a little bit wide, and now he crosses the line. 1:16.6 for Danny Van Niet.
Yeah, it was quite a scruffy lap from the Networks driver, but see what everyone else does. People might make mistakes or they might go for a different strategy, but definitely Thomas Mundy will go on to the soft tyres in my opinion, as he wants to try and take it, try and do a one stop. I think that'll be the best strategy for him.
Yeah, and let's have a look now at Patrick Holzman. He has been quick throughout the Q1 already. Let's see what he does now. He does well, he actually is starting his lap. Apologies for that. Patrick Holzman is starting his lap. And Patel goes second with a 1:15.8, and Daniel Kiss with a good lap in first right now, 1:15.7. We still have Patrick Holzman to complete his lap. Same for Jerry Toman, Martin Hodes and Thomas Saverly. Jonas Seaman, I think he made a mistake, because he is in the pits without having set a lap time, so Seaman will probably start from 10th position, as Saverly is the first one to cross the line right now. Let's see what he can do.
He's up by 10th in the middle sector. What can he do? Oh, and he's got pole position as well. That's a great lap from the New Zealand driver. Yeah,
awesome lap by Thomas Saverly. Puts him up in provisional pole right now. Still have 3 drivers to finish their lap time. One of them is Martin Hodes, who comes through the final 2 corners. And Hodes, let's see what he can do. Final turn, turn 7, has a good exit, I believe. And he, oh, he starts his lap again. Oh, another mistake by me. I'm sorry. Very sorry there.
It's fine, Jeroen. And we've got Patrick Holzman coming around the final corner. He was 3 tenths down in the middle sector. He's gone on the curb. What will he do?
Oh.
He's gone fastest. He had an amazing last sector.
Yep, 22.8 final sector, 4 tenths quicker than Thomas Saverly. That is where he gained all of his time. And Toman now, Toman with 1:15.5, so he goes into the 0.5s and definitely takes the pole position, as Martin Hodes is now the only one who needs to set his lap time. Having a look at the sector times from Toman, Toman was 1 tenth down on Holzman in the final sector, but he had 2 very strong first 2 sectors, and that is definitely where, well, that is definitely the reason why he took that pole position. Now looking at Hodes, who has done a 70.0 first sector, that is quite slow. And now the second sector. Let's He is in the third sector. Second sector was not that great either, with a 35.9. And
He's
it goes wide.
Yeah.
Good spot, James. And another time very wide, and he abandons his lap. Yep, yeah. He abandons his lap. Across the track limits. So that is our top 10.
Yeah, that was a great qualifying session in the A Series. So we've got Jeroen nicked pole position from Patrick Holzman, and then we've got Holzman in second. Thomas Sadler starting on the clean side of the track, so that will definitely benefit him going into turn 1. Then we've got Daniel Kiss in 4th, Mohammed Patel in 5th, Peter Helmbro in 6th. That's a good job from him. Then we've got Daniel Anthony in 7th, Norbert Leitner in 8th, Martin Herdas in 9th, and Johnny Simon in 10th place.
Yep, going further down the grid, Thomas Mundy in 11th, and as said, I think that is someone to look out for in the race. Valeriano in 12th, Fabrizio Gobbi 13th, Daniel Bira in 14th, Sebastian Dunkel, which I think is new to the FSR series, in 15th, Boya Garcia in 16th, Artyom Slamajan in 17th, and Marco Conti in 18th, but remember, he has to start from pit thanks to a back of the grid penalty.
Yep, so now we're starting the warm-up session, where the drivers will have 10 minutes to get a feel for the car with the race fuel. So I think this is going to be a really interesting race. You know, we've got some fantastic drivers in the A Series who definitely have got potential to go up to the World Championship as well. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to this race.
I am too, and actually looking at the pit stops, let's talk about them, because what do you think? Do you think it's a 1-stop, 2-stop, 3-stop? Because I personally think that a 1-stop is incredibly marginal, and I don't think it will work. But who knows, maybe there are some drivers who can throw up some surprises. I think 2-stop is probably the way to go, and then go soft, or super soft, soft, soft. If you have really good, if you can manage your tires really well, you might even go for super soft, soft, super soft again. But I think that soft is the best race compound here. It's definitely quite consistent as well.
Yeah, it's always risky going to the super softs at the end, because they may end up, you know, just wearing out, and then you won't have any tyres left at the end of the race, and then you'll just get overtaken by everyone else. So whether Thomas Mundy goes for the soft tyres and then tries to make a 1-stop work to try and jump the rest of the field, we'll have to find out. But in my opinion, I think a 1-stop's the fastest way to go. But we will find out. Jeroen's got the best chance again to win this race and try and get some points over the competition in the A Series.
Well, I think that Patel has to attack for this race. I mean, Patel, he is currently second in the championship, and if I was Patel, I would try to carry the momentum with him now. After the summer break, a long break, you obviously want to perform well here. And if you can win here and try to keep that momentum going for the rest of the season, I think Patel can have still a good chance at the championship, even though he's 47 points back from Thoman. On the other hand, Thoman is of course a very, very good driver and very hard to beat. So Patel, he has a tough job ahead of him. And with Johnny Seaman in third with 216 points. I don't really think Seaman can throw in any surprises, as Seaman does actually a practice start, I think. Yeah, I think so. He's on the start-finish straight, just waiting there. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe, yeah, he's doing a practice start. Interesting. So Seaman doing a practice start, but yeah, coming back on him, he is quite a way off Jeroen Thoman really in terms of points. So I don't really see Seaman fighting for the championship. I think it's really between Thoman and Patel, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Everything can happen.
Yeah, indeed it can. The first half of the season was very good, so I'm just hoping that the second half of the season will be as good as what the first one was.
So who's looking quick with race fuel on board? I think Thoman is once again impressing us. The Precision Motorsports car is doing 1:18.5, 3/10 quicker than Patrick Holzman. But Twister is I think it's still the same story as we have seen in the first half of the season. It is Toman who really impresses us, and it is currently Twister who is only able to follow. And I think that when you look at Hodes, for example, the teammate of Toman, you can really see the class of Toman. I mean, Hodes is a great driver, don't get me wrong, but with all my respect to Hodes, it is Toman who really performs very well in that car. And to be honest, I think he can be a future star, the way he is performing right now.
Yeah, definitely. You've got that nailed on the head there, Jeroen. Yeah, you know, Jiri's looking very strong here. He's got 3/10 over Twisters, which can be huge if you're starting off pole position as well. So, you know, it's all to play for here. If Jiri can get out a good lead ahead of everyone else, then he has got a very good chance of winning this race and getting some points on the board to try and win the A Series.
And I actually see some people crashing off. So is that because of the track? Is it a little bit slippery? Well, I can tell you from my own experience that it is quite hard to put the power down on this track, especially out of those slow corners. The hairpin is a good example. It's very hard to put the power down and get a good acceleration, especially with tire wear. Turn 8 as well, on your way to turns 9 and 10 is incredibly hard to put the power down. And then you enter this technical section where it is even harder, especially out of that hairpin turn 13. It is really hard to stabilize the car on the exit. You really have to wait for a couple of tenths really before you can put the power down, and well, you need a lot of confidence here, I think, to drive really quick and on the limit.
Yeah, you definitely need the confidence and the right setup in order to do well in Hockenheim. So who do you think will come out with the race win here, Jeroen?
I cannot really say a different person other than Jiri Toman. I mean, he is once again looking so strong, but you don't know, because there might be a few guys who would like to throw in a couple of pieces. Maybe they have good tire wear. Maybe Twister is really on the tires and is able to close down on Toman in the final stint of every stint, really, in the final couple of laps of each stint. So I think it's too early to judge, but of course Jiri Toman is looking very strong here, and he starts from pole position, and that is definitely quite a big advantage too, because the dirty side of the track, which is the right hand side for the drivers, left hand side for the spectators, the camera point of view, it is quite dirty, not a lot of rubber down there, and it's pretty hard to get a good start from there. So I think if you want to have a good start, you need to be on the left hand side of the track really, and I think the people on the right hand side will struggle a little bit.
Yeah, indeed, but you've also got to remember that this first corner can bring up some surprises, so we may see a huge crash if the drivers aren't careful.
Definitely, yeah.
Let's just hope that doesn't happen, as we've always said. You know, it's not nice to see accidents, and especially if you have a 10-car wipeout, which happened in Canada. You know, you don't really want to see that, because all the drivers put in, you know, lots of hard work into their setups, and it all just gets washed away when you get out the race.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's always sad to see people crashing off in the first corner, but to be honest, this first corner is very tricky. There is luckily lots of runoff areas really, and it's not like Monaco where you just go wide and smash into a barrier. It's definitely not like that. There's quite a big runoff area where people can try to avoid, so let's hope people will use that if there's a crash in front of them. But it is such a tight corner and very tricky. Of course, you want to keep it within the track limits as much as you can as a driver. And actually, Conti, look at Conti, he's in second, only a tenth of Toman. So Conti starting from last position. We will keep an eye out on him, definitely.
Yeah, indeed, but it is quite hard to overtake here at Hockenheim since the track's quite narrow. So, and also the Sector 3 can bring up some surprises, maybe in some accidents or people going off in the first corner of Sector 3. But, you know, people just need to drive safely, and then hopefully we won't have any accidents and we can have some nice, clean, exciting racing.
Yeah, let's hope so. After the long summer break, we are finally back. As said before, tomorrow we have Pro and World Championship, but obviously we still have this Ace Race 1 and Race 2, so another sprint race after the feature race, the main race. So I'm looking forward to that too. In the sprint race, the top 8 of the first race will be reversed, which should throw up a couple of exciting things, really. So we will look forward to that as well. But obviously we have the feature race first.
Yeah, indeed we do. But also, if the drivers do crash out now, they've always got the chance in the sprint race to try and get some points on the board, which is a good thing about the Ace series. As if in Pro, if you have an accident, then that's your weekend ruined. But in the Ace series, you've got another opportunity to try and score some points and try and catch up in the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship.
Oh yeah, you're definitely right. Looking at this Lemmergen, doing quite a good couple of laps, 6/10 of Thoman. Let's see what he can do in the race. He looks quite stable, and as I say that, he goes off the track and he spins out. So anyway, that's it for the warm-up. We are getting ready for the race. Obviously we will have a formation lap. We will run through the grid one more time during the formation lap, so don't worry if you're missing out on anything. And there we go, we advance to the next session, 40 laps. Should be a 2-stop probably for most drivers. We will see what's going to happen.
Yeah, indeed. So in pole position, once again, we've got Jeroen. In second place, we've got Patrick Holzman. Third, Thomas Sadler. Daniel Kiss is in fourth. Man Patel is in fifth. Peter Helmborough is in sixth. Dan Randoni is in seventh. Norbert Leitner is in 8th place, Martin Honas is in 9th, and Johnny Simon rounds out the top 10. Can you take us through the rest of the grid, Jeroen?
For sure. Thomas Mundy in 11th, Valeriano in 12th, Fabricio Gobbi in 13th, Daniel Bida in 14th, Sebastian Danko in 15th, Boya Garcia in 16th, Lemmergen is 17th, and Marco Conti in 18th, the Twister car. Definitely looking out for him. Looking forward to what he can do from that final place. And indeed, he went with the softer tire. So Conti starts from the soft tire, going with a little bit of a different strategy here. See if I can spot any more people on the softer tire. If I do, then I will inform.
Yeah, well, I think both Lemmergen and Conti have both really focused on their race setup. So they're going to try and get through the field and try and score some good points for their respective teams. So as the drivers are now making their way down the straight.
I spot Garcia on soft tire, same for Fabricio Gobbi, and same for Thomas Mundy. So Thomas Mundy on soft tire too. Obviously the complete top 10 is on the super soft, the tire they have qualified on.
Yeah, all the people on the soft tires are trying to make a long run to try and jump the people that are doing 2 stops that will effectively destroy their tyres and will become slower before they pit. So this is going to be a really interesting race. You know, you've got a terrific top 5 drivers. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope everyone else is watching this FSR stream.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with you. Hopefully we will have a good race here, and indeed an exciting top 5. We have Sevely in 3rd position. Look out for him. Look out for him. Let's see if he can overtake Holzman right away at the start, because Holzman starts on that dirty side of the track. So Jerry Thoman is waiting. Definitely his heartbeat will be racing right now as he waits for the lights to come on, but he still needs to wait for Marco Conti to come through the final corner, which he does so now, and take his grid position. So James, go ahead and take us through the start.
Okay, so just waiting for the lights. We've got 1 light, we've got 2 lights, we've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights out and away we go here in Hockenheim. Shootout gets a good start. Thomas Sadler has bogged down a bit and he's now got the twister car. He's looking quite clean so far. There's a few drivers that have used the runoff. Thomas Mundy's, oh, he's spun and he's hit. I don't know who he's hit, but I think that's Thomas Mundy's race.
Yep.
Over now.
Yeah, it is. Sebastian Danko was the only person who made a mistake after the first corner. So clean first corner so far as we catch up to Toman, who still has the lead, and Holzman is second, so Zevely off.
Yeah, indeed he has, and he's now got Patel. He's now looking very racy behind the Go Speed car. And then we've also got Peter Calmbro doing a great job for Racing in 6th place, and Johnny Simons come up through the field a bit, and he's doing well. But I'm thankful that we've had some clean racing at the start.
Well, I must say everyone went through the hairpin cleanly. That is very, very good to see, because that hairpin is definitely tight. Good job to all the drivers. Unfortunately for Danko, he spun at the exit of the first corner, and unfortunately for Thomas Mundy, he had to retire, which is a big shame. I really looked forward to seeing Thomas Mundy race, but it's the way it is.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate. But as Shuri Toman crosses the line for the first lap of this Hockenheim Grand Prix, and he's now got a 1.1 second gap back to Patrick Holzman. So Jury's really using this clean air and managing his tyres well. You know, Patrick has still got to face the dirty air, which has been reduced, but it still does affect the tyres when you go through corners, and it will destroy your tyres if you continue to be behind someone for a long period of the race.
Hey. Marco Conti in the pits. Same for Eslamajan and Daniel Bida. For sure, Eslamajan and Bida are in for repairs, but Conti went into the pits and was straight back out again on the soft tire. That is interesting to see. I don't really know what he is planning on doing. Maybe he had some damage too, but he is out again on the soft tire. He made a quick pit stop too. Did he? Oh, did he have a drive-through penalty? He might have had, actually.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yep, yeah, that's my fault. Sorry, Conti had the drive-through penalty. My fault. Apologies.
It must have been that he jumped the start, maybe, but we'll have to find out. Maybe we can look into that and see why he's got a drive-through penalty.
No, Conti had a drive-through penalty already before the race, so there you go.
Ah, okay. So Shuri's still got his 1.1 second lead
off
to Patrick Holzman.
Yep, Liedner went off, definitely. And he went off in turn 13, which is the tricky hairpin. Liedner off the track and dropped him back into P13. That is definitely not a good start for Liedner.
No, that's really unfortunate for the faster than speed driver. So hope he can try and get through the field. But there's definitely some good racing going on. We've got Johnny Simon trying to go around the outside of the Arid Chronic racing car. It didn't really work. Helmbro just blocked the inside line, so it made it tricky for Johnny to get past, but he's definitely looking very racy behind the Arid Chronic racing car.
Yeah, and currently Patrick Holzman follows Jerry Toman. 1.1 second is the gap, and Thomas Savely is looking quite feisty on the back of Daniel Kiss. Currently Savely is behind Daniel Kiss, but in front of Patel. Patel has to make up a few positions, in my opinion, really, as he is down into P5, but Peter Halmbro under some pressure from Seaman, as you have said before, and what a great battle this is actually. They are very, very close to each other.
Yeah, so if Johnny just stays within the 1 second, which he is doing now, he'll get DRS and he can try and use that advantage. But Peter Halmbro just runs a little bit wide, so whether he's gaining an advantage there, but as you can see with Johnny Simon, as he went through the first corner, he's just really struggling with the dirty air. But let's see if he can try and use the DRS and try and get past the Avid Chronic racing car. Let's see what top speed he's got as well.
306 for Daniel is 316 for Savely, so he's 10 kilometers an hour faster, but that's really it.
Yeah, it's only 313 kilometers for the positive sim racing car. So, and Peter Helmbro's got a good top speed, so it may be difficult for the positive sim racing driver to get past Peter Helmbro.
It does look like Seaman is quite stuck behind him as they enter the technical section now, third sector. You pick up quite a bit of dirty air here, which makes it only more tricky. And then even the NEAT is following these guys as well. So He might be the laughing guy, really, who waits maybe for an accident to happen between those two drivers. Although I'm sure they will do their best to keep their head cool, of course. As Sadler right now loses a little bit of connection with Daniel Kiss, falls off the back from him a little bit. I'm sure he's still within 1 second, but Patel is pressuring him more and more as Sadler is slowly starting to drop off from the leader space. Currently, Jeroen has a 1.2 second advantage over Patrick Holzman. So Patrick Holzman is definitely not falling off here. In fact, the top 5 is sticking with each other quite well here, as Patel is pressuring Sadler more and more. And let's see further back though, Johnny Seaman once again is going around the outside of Peter Helmbro here. This is a fantastic move probably by Seaman as they go side by side into corner 7, heading down into turn 8, and Johnny Seaman down the inside gets the move done. Great job from Johnny Seaman down the inside for corner 8, and Johnny Seaman shows here that overtaking is definitely possible. Peter Helmbro trying to get him back, but no, Johnny Seaman well, fended off the inside. Peter Helmbro had a little bit of a look, but no, he wasn't close enough to overtake really.
No, that was a fantastic move by the FSR driver, and Patrick Holzman is just running a little bit wide, so he might not be in the DRS zone, which I don't think he is. We'll have to find out and see if he does get DRS, but whether Thomas can keep Mohamed Patel behind him, it really does depend. It really just depends if he can get DRS from Daniel Kiss to stop Mohamed Patel having the effect DRS. So
definitely, yeah.
The top 5 is still the same as what they were. Okay.
Doesn't have it, no. Interesting fact is that Patrick Holzman, whoa, big oversteer moment from Sadler on the exit of the hairpin. Actually, Patrick Holzman, sorry, once again making the mistake, is lapping quicker than Thoman, is lapping faster than Thoman at the moment. It's only slightly, it's only by half a tenth actually, but he is definitely close, and he is right now within 8/10 of Jeroen Thoman. So Patrick Holzman is actually doing a really good job, as he is now within the DRS range too.
Yeah, indeed he is. But whether Jeroen's just trying to manage his tyres better than what the Twister driver is, because he knows he's got to get past the Precision driver to try and help Mohamed Patel, who's still stuck in 5th behind the Ghost Speed car, but he is looking much closer to the Ghost Speed car this time. And I think Thomas Sadler doesn't have DRS from Daniel Kiss, so can Mohamed Patel get past the Ghost Speed driver, who's been doing a very good job for Ghost Speed?
He had a good exit out of turn 4. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets him here down this straight. If they head down into the hairpin turn 6, let's see. No. Well, Patel has a look on the inside, but Sadler brakes very late. Good job from Sadler there actually, and Sadler has a good exit too out of that hairpin. So Patel too far back at the moment. I thought actually that Patel was close enough, but apparently not. Seems like the straight line speed from the Ghost Speed car is quite decent.
Yeah, he was within a 2/10 when he opened up the DRS, but I think it just really shows that the Ghost Speed car's got a good top speed on it. But Patrick Holzman was hitting 314 kilometers an hour, so that's showing that it's still not enough to get past the Ghost Speed car. So it's showing that Ghost Speed car's really well set up, and Thomas is doing an excellent job for Ghost Speed.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Meanwhile, back to the leaders, Patrick Holzman has closed down the gap even more. He's now 6/10 behind Thomas, so he closed him down by another 2/10 this lap, as Holzman will have DRS probably on Jeroen Thoman. I think he's too far back, so I think the battle we should focus on is Sadler Patel. Patel is once again very, very close. Let's see, the exit is really important out of turn 3, coming through turn 4 right now. And it seems like the distance is about the same, but Patel picking up the slipstream advantage too. Meanwhile, at the lead, there's nothing happening, I think. No, Jeroen Thomas still leads, and look at that. Look at that. Patel still not close enough to overtake Sadler. Very interesting. Patel is just quick, definitely. He has the grip, but probably not the straight line speed, at least not as great straight line speed as the Ghost Speed car has.
Yeah, indeed, but he's getting he's got a really good turning into turn 1, so he's gaining time on the Ghost Speed car, but then he just doesn't have the top speed of what the Ghost Speed car has. So whether he's going to be stuck behind the Ghostby car and just may have to try and undercut Thomas Sadler. So we'll have to find out and see what pans out during the race.
There's also a good battling going on between P10, or I should say around P10, with Valeriano Garcia and Conti, who is up to P12, with Norbert Liedner right behind him. So this is another great battle here, where Conti is definitely looking aggressive and feisty at the back of Valeriano. But currently he cannot really do anything, as he needs to wait for the DRS zone. But Garcia has quite a decent pace on the soft tire too, I think. Yeah,
indeed he is. And there's only a 1 second gap between P10 and P12, so this is looking like a pretty good battle. But now Conti's lost time to Valeriano, and now he's got Garcia coming right up behind him.
Patel down the inside of Sadler, sorry to interrupt you. And no, he didn't pass him actually, he was very close. He headed along the inside, but he couldn't overtake.
I think Conti got past Norbert Liedner. Oh, no. Sorry,
it was Garcia. Yeah, Garcia has made a mistake. Interesting, that releases Conti now. And Sadler is off. I'm getting reports that Sadler is off. Is he though? Yeah, he is. Patel went by, definitely. I'm gonna have a look at the replay of that myself. Turn 8, yep, at the turn 8. Sadler went wide, probably under pressure, and that releases Patel now. And let's see if Patel has a good pace, and if he has, then it will be interesting, because then we will have twister cars P2, P3, P4, all chasing down this one guy, Jerry Toman, who is still coping with the pressure, as we have the first pit stop of the race, which is Peter Hambro, comes in from 8th position, I believe, and he is going to switch to the softer tire, lap 9.
Yeah, Thomas Sadler's got the DRS, but whether he can try and get past the twister car, I don't think he will. But I think Mohamed Patel will just go into the sunset and just try and chase down the other twister cars. So it's a Precision Motorsports car that leads from the 3 twister cars that are doing a fantastic job, and I'm sure David Dominguez will be delighted with that. And Thomas Sadler doing a fantastic job for Ghostby. Johnny Simon doing a nice job for Positive SimRacing with that great pass, and he's in P6. And then we've got Daniel Angelini in 7th for Crown 7 Netrex. Martin Honas, the other Precision car, in 8th place. Peter Helmbro, who's pitted and is now on the soft tyres after just 9 laps, and he's in 9th place. And Conti's doing a good job, climbed 8 places even with a drive-through to get to P10, and he's still on the soft tyres, so he's doing an excellent job for Twister.
Yeah, good point. He's doing a good job indeed. I saw him overtaking Valeriano down the inside pretty easily with use of the DRSs. We have more people in the pits. One of them is Martin Hodes. So Hodes, the teammate of Jerry Toman, is already in the pits. Safe for Hodes.
I think it's just showing that. Are they using both the same boxes? I think they were using both the same boxes, and Hodas couldn't do anything about it, so that's really unfortunate for Hodas. And he's gone on this. He's gone to the super soft tyres again. But I think he's really shown that the super soft tyres aren't lasting as what we expected them to last as long, because I think they can last up to 15 laps. So perhaps the drivers are doing 2 stops and not really focusing on that 1 stop. And it is definitely looking like the 2-stop strategy is the fastest for Hockenheim.
Yeah, indeed, and currently Holzman actually is falling off the back of Toman, and actually Danny O'Kiss is now very close behind Holzman. Right, the reason for that is Holzman going mad, I'm hearing here.
Yeah, we've also got Jerry Toman and Daniel Kiss both in the pits, so whether Jerry Toman can try and get a gap to Patrick Holzman, and we've also got Mohamed Patel in the pits. So both Holzman and Sadler have got to go round again and see where they pan out after they've pitted from Toman and Kiss and Patel.
But look on the tires. Look, the tires from Toman. He went again with the super soft. Meanwhile, Daniel Kiss and Patel went with the soft. So Toman seems to be confident on this super soft tire.
Yeah, indeed he does. And Johnny Simon just pitted, but it's really shown that that others are struggling on the super soft tyres. Others are really enjoying the super. So I think whether the Twister cars are going for a 2-stop or 1-stop, so whether they're going to use the super soft tyres after their soft stint, we'll have to find out. But tyre wear is definitely an issue here at Hockenheim.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we see Danny Van der Neet now, by the way. Danny Van der Neet down the inside of Valeriano, makes the move stick the hairpin. I think goes deep though, and Valeriano is going to take him back. No, Danny Van der Neet says no to that as a good exit of the hairpin, so no way Valeriano is going to get past again.
Yeah, well, Danny Van der Neet needed to pass Valeriano because Valeriano is on the super soft tyres and Danny Van der Neet's on the soft, so that's a good pass from the Netrex car. Good job from him.
Yep, Holzman and Sadler now in the pit.
And Sadler's had a slow getaway, so where will this put him? Whether Johnny Simon would jump the Ghostly car, but he's come straight out in P5. So he's come out exactly where he was before, but I think he's got a larger gap to Holzman. Holzman's strategy, it hasn't worked because he's left the pit stop too late, and now he's lost ground on both his Twister teammates and his rival Jeroen.
Holzman wasn't confident, I think, on the final couple of laps of his stint, made the mistake. Made the mistake on this final stint, and well, he comes back now in P4. Well, he was P2 before, so well, once again we see the Twister cars in P2, P3, P4, and we see one guy, Jeroen, Precision Motorsports, just edging them out, and he is pushing right now, definitely, as he opened up the gap to 2.6 seconds. So this is the time for Thoman to shine, really, as he is pushing very hard on those super soft tires. He must make them last though, of course, as he has to pits earlier than all the people around him who are on soft tire, including Severly, who went on soft tire. So definitely don't count Severly out right now, although he does seem to be losing the pace a little bit, which the Twister cars and the Precision Motorsport cars are showing. Or car, yeah. I should say, it's only one car, of course.
But I think Shootout needs to push now, because if he doesn't, the Twister cars, because they're on the soft tires, they're just going to jump the Precision car. So he has to get as big a gap to the Twister cars as he can. But Daniel Kiss, you know, he's back in the A series. He's doing an excellent job for Twister racing.
I saw Slamagen off at the exit of turn 4, so Slamagen is struggling too, as he is actually the last guy on the grid, as he actually is going to get lapped, I think.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Slamagen, but he needs to get out of the way from both the cars, which he does.
So let's have a look at the pace from the Twister cars, and they catch up to Jeroen. This lap, no, this is not how the lap unfolded so far. Let's see how the final sector goes for Jeroen. His car just looks so stable through every single corner, really, as the gap is now 2.5. So no, actually, the Twister cars have gained a tenth on Jeroen, at least Daniel Kiss has. So Kiss had a strong final sector. It looks like the Twister cars are pretty strong in their final sector, but Jeroen is the person who is faster in sector 1 and 2, so probably Jeroen running a little bit less wings. So if we see a Twister car closing up on Thoman, it's going to be probably a different or a difficult option to pass them, as we see Patel now versus Patrick Holzman. Patel defends the inside for the hairpin. Holzman goes around the outside. Can he make it stick around the outside? Probably not, as Patel is trying to squeeze him wide. Leave room though, leave room to each other, guys. Patel still in third position. He definitely keeps that pace, although there comes Patrick Holzman having another look down the inside, but keep each other alive, guys. Which I do indeed. And Patrick Holzman, whoa, bit of wheel spin on the exit, and now that releases Patel a little bit, so he has a little bit of breathing space after that pressure from Holzman.
Yeah, indeed it does. But if them two kept on battling, it would have brought Thomas Sadler back into contention for third place. So we'll have to see if Holzman can catch up back to his teammate. But you don't want to see any of your teammates going off if you both have contact, like what happened with Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel. So, and Holzman has just gone very wide, and he's actually gained quite a big margin on Mohammed Patel after going wide. So he's got DRS on his teammate. So whether there's going to be team orders with Twister or they're just going to fight it out, which is what we like to see.
Conti pits from P9. Let's see what kind of tire he chooses now. So Conti has done, well, 14 laps right now on the soft tire, and he goes to the super soft.
Yeah, well, with the drivers only doing 14, well, with Conti doing only 14 laps on the soft tyres, which means will the drivers be doing a 3-stop strategy if they can't get the tyres to last? Because if the soft tyres are only doing 4 extra laps from the super soft tyres, I think the order will definitely change from the one that we're seeing now with pit stops and different strategies.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think you're completely right here. I don't think it is really going according to plan for some teams. The tires, at least the tire wear, but nevertheless for us it only mixes up some more excitement, really, as we see the gap to Jeroen, or from Jeroen to Daniel Kiss, it's stabilizing really. They are lapping within the 10th of each other really, so consistent pace from both of these guys. You've got to give props for Daniel Kiss too. It's quite a good race here, but Jeroen said he's just something special really. As we see Holzman once again on the back of Patel. Holzman does have DRS, but it's too far back really, so we see these 3 cars from Twister still very close to each other, but they can't do anything about Thoman really.
Yeah, indeed they are, and this isn't working out very well for Jeroen because he's got to pit again, and he's going to have a huge margin if he doesn't start to produce a gap from the Twister cars. So he really does need to put his foot down and really find something from drivers.
Liedner has lost his front wing. I think he went off. Yeah, he must have went off. And again, it was in turn 13 this hairpin in the final sector. This is... What happened though? I think he just went too deep in there. I think that's a concentration mistake, to be honest, from Liedner. That is something I have never really seen. It can be a brake failure, right, after 7 or 16 laps. It's very weird, to be honest. He just went straight on, it looked like it. Anyway, he gets a new front wing and gets on his way out again, but not a good race from Liedner, going off twice in that same corner.
Yeah, the back just stepped out when Liedner turned in, so he didn't really have the bite into the corner. So it's really unfortunate for Fast and Speed. They're not having a brilliant race at Hockenheim, and let's hope they can have a better race in race 2.
What are the guys doing in terms of lap times? Well, actually, Sadler, you've got to give props to him, because he is currently lapping the quickest out of the top 5. Yet he is about 3-4 seconds back from Holzman, but he is currently lapping quickest out of the whole top 5, which is good to see. But still, yeah, as I said, he's too far back. He is 8.8 seconds back from Thoman, 9 seconds. So yeah, he has some catching up to do. He has some work to do, but still, we aren't even halfway. So plenty of things can happen here, of course, as we see Conti flying on his new set of tires, of course. Still in P10, but putting in purple times on my monitor. So Conti is definitely pushing.
Yeah, indeed he is. He has to, so he can try and get some points on the board, which we talked about so much, but they are so important for the Drivers' Championship. But Jeroen's now starting to pull out a bit more of a gap. He's now 3 seconds from the Twister drivers, but I think this isn't really working out for Precision, because they were expecting a bigger gap, but it's just showing that there isn't a big margin between the soft and the super soft tyres.
Yeah, very good point, and that might well be the difference in wear. I mean, the super soft tires, we see Patrick Holzman having a lot of look on the Patel's inside, but not working. I think you can do 2 quick laps on the super soft tire, and after that the soft tire comes into play, and the soft tire is actually probably like the quickest, because it is 2 laps which you can do on a super soft tire, and then they fall off quite heavily after that, while the soft tire are obviously a little bit more stable in terms of tire wear. And that's why we see Twister doing, well, quite a good job at sticking with Thoman. They are losing consistently about a 10th every lap, and that's it, while Thoman is on the super soft tire. Of course, Thoman's tires are are probably quite worn, as he pitted in lap 10 and already has done 8 laps on the super soft tire, while the Twister cars are on soft. But still, I think Twister is doing a good job here. They have 3 cars in the top 4, and that is of course good for them.
Yeah, indeed it is, but this is definitely for something for the Pro and World Championship teams to consider, that the tyres just aren't as fast as what people were thinking. So let's just see what happens and what happens to Jiri. But then again, you've got to look that you will have the advantage of a fresher set of tyres from the Twister cars. But whether the Twister cars need to hit again because their tyres are also wearing quite badly. But let's just see how this race pans out.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And oh, whoa, I see a spin in front of my screen. Sebastian Danko has spun on the exit of turn 12, that is, and wow, he was in the way of Garcia. Those two had quite a good battle as Thoman goes by him now. Wow,
that was really close. And what is going on? He's held them up. Whether the stewards will go and look into that, now he's off the track. That's really unfortunate for Dunkel, because he spun round and then just was in the way of Shootout.
I wouldn't say he was in the way, actually. I had to look at the replay. He was in the way of Thoman for sure, as he was standing on the track. I don't actually think he held up Daniel Kiss, because there was nothing else he could do. He was on the outside of the corner, and Daniel Kiss, I think he went just deep into the corner himself too, and that definitely is costing Daniel Kiss time. That is valuable time, actually, as he has lost about 1 second to Thoman in that little incident, you could call it, I guess. He just went too deep into the corner himself, but then there was Sebastian Dunkel there, who actually had a good battle with Garcia before he spun. I don't think he could have gone anywhere else, really.
No, I don't think so either, but I think Kiss thought he was going to take the inside line, but he ended up taking the outside line, and then he ended up getting slowed down by the Abercrombie racing car. But now this has definitely helped Shootout. He's now got a 4.4 second gap to the Twister cars. So we're gonna find out how much longer Shootout can go on these tyres and how much tyre left he has got in these super soft tyres. But his front left tyre is looking considerably worn as we enter lap 21.
Yeah, it is really that front left tyre on this track, isn't it? Which has a lot of load on it. Of course, it's a clockwise circuit, so what else can you expect? Yeah, it is the front left tyre which gets quite worn here. That's definitely the tyre which has the most load on it through most corners. And he still continues 1 lap. Do you think he will pit this lap? I mean, considering he has done 10 laps on his first stint on the super soft, do you think he's going to pit now then? I mean, he has already done I think 11 laps now.
Yeah, well, I think let's just find out. I think he will have another 2 laps at most, but it really does depend how worn them tyres are. If they're not that worn, then maybe he could stretch it to lap 25, but whether he would lose too much time to the Twister cars. But they're also looking actually quite slower now, so whether their tyres are now starting to struggle. So definitely strategy is a big thing here in Hockenheim.
Yeah, but I think that little incident with Dunkel has distracted them from the race. I mean, it catches your concentration, really, and it gets your concentration, and maybe they need some laps, 1, 2, maybe 4 laps to get back in a good flow and in the right concentration. As I experience it myself too. It can really catch your it gets your concentration, and it's hard to get it back then again. But still, I think, as you said before, Jeroen is looking quick now, and he goes on for another lap. Remember that he's obviously running with lighter fuel right now, which definitely favors tire wear. So yeah, that could be another reason why he is still going. 12 laps currently on these super soft tires.
Yeah, I've just got some information for Jeroen. He's going in the pits at the end of this lap. He has got his pit light on his dashboard, so let's see where this out. Whether he'll go onto the soft tyres and try and get 17 laps soft tyres. So But whether the Twister cars are just going to pull away or they're going to have to pit, it's got the making to be a really interesting race.
Yep, for sure. And how is Sadler doing actually? I think he has fallen back a little bit. Yeah, he's lapping now slowest from the top 5. So it is still Toman who is 3/10 quicker a lap than Daniel Kiss currently.
Yeah, but he's also pulled out a gap to the positive SimRacing car, which is now 11 seconds. So
pit.
Yeah. So Sadler's gone past him, but he should be able to get in front of the positive SimRacing car. So now he's got fresh tyres, he's on the soft tyres, so now he's got to hunt down all the drivers that are on worn tyres. So perhaps if the other drivers pit, this won't be too big of an issue for Jeroen, but we'll have to find out. So we're now midway through lap 23, and Danka's just got a little bit of oversteer.
Yeah.
He's doing a fantastic job for Twister Racing.
Oh yeah, he definitely is, but now the tire wear is starting to play. These laps now are going to be crucial for Twister Racing. They need to keep up their consistent pace, while Toman is probably going to close that down. Actually, I'm sure of that on those fresh tires. But Patel currently, don't you think it is a wise choice for Twister, if you're in their position, to let Patel go through right now? To let Patel through, because Patel looks quite quick at the moment, and well, I don't know if he's getting really held up by Kiss, but Kiss seems to struggle quite a bit with tire wear. You see the car wiggling a little bit as well out of that final turn, so Kiss must be struggling with tire wear a little bit probably.
Yeah, indeed he must be, but in my opinion, I think he should let Patel through, because Patel's just going to suffer with more tire wear. And he's going to be getting slightly held up with the dirty air, but you've got to give Twister credit. You know, they're in the top 3, even though Jury has pitted and he's now going to gain time on both the Twister cars. But now you see Patel just getting ever closer, and with these guys fighting, it's just going to bring Toman, and it's going to bring Toman into this battle, and I can't see where Sadler's gone. I think he must have had an incident, because he's now gone. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I saw Sadler pitting, but he went on to the super soft, and then he has to do 16 laps on the super soft in order to finish the race. I don't see that happening, to be honest.
No, I think he'll be doing a 3-stop strategy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. But now looking at Toman, what is he doing? Toman, this lap, half a second in the first sector, 6/10 in the second sector. Toman is flying. Thomas is really flying at the moment. He is so quick as Daniel Kiss comes into the pits for Twister Racing.
So now it's going to be really interesting to see where Jeroen will be, and he's just overtook the pit lane now, and it's just be interesting to see the gap. But definitely Daniel Kiss's tyres were looking very worn on that left front. So now whether Daniel Kiss can try and catch up to Jeroen, but Jeroen's really in the rhythm now, and maybe Daniel Kiss won't be able to catch up to Jeroen.
Osman having a look around the outside of Patel. Patel actually is still leading, so no worries about that. Osman didn't overtake him, and Toman just did the fast lap, by the way, 18.0.
Yeah. And we've also got Holzman in the pits at the end of this lap. His front left tyre is looking incredibly worn, and Holzman isn't pitting either, so Holzman may come out the worst out of all these drivers. So Jeroen may end up just taking the lead and getting a sizable gap to the Twister Racing cars, but then they'll be on fresh tyres, and they'll be able to put the hammer down, and we now got Patel in the pits.
Yep, Patel pits. Let's see what tyre he chooses.
You would expect the softer
tyre. Yeah. Yeah, of course. We'll see. Oh wow! It's the super soft tyre. What is going on? Super soft tyre.
Perhaps that was perhaps he put that incorrectly.
I don't know.
Or he's trying to do 14 laps on the super soft. But what we've seen with tyre wear, that may not be possible. He may just drop off the entire pack, and it isn't looking like the faster tyre here as well. So it's gonna be really interesting to see where he comes out, or whether this is the wrong strategy for Mohammed Patel.
Well, it might be very, very marginal. It might work. He needs to be careful though, because we have seen 10 laps in the first stint on super soft, on average, including a formation lap. And now that the fuel weight has come down, thanks to the fuel burning up, the car is much lighter. I don't know if the car is light enough for the super soft tires to run 14 laps. I think, as I said, it's very, very marginal. It will be very interesting actually to see how this pans out. As we should see Patrick Holzman in this lap. No, Patrick Holzman keeps going. Wow. He might want to go for the super soft tire and just run another 1 or 2 laps just to be sure he can go on the super soft tire to the end.
Yeah, I think Holzman is going to go on the super soft tyres, but with him staying out, he's now lost the gap from Jeroen, and he's now 5.2 seconds, and now Holzman's just gone wide. So Jeroen just got 9/10 from that last lap on Holzman. So perhaps this is the wrong decision for Holzman. Well, but Jeroen is looking incredibly strong here, and that gap is now going down. It's now to 4.2. So it's really showing how much difference between new and old soft tyres. So it's definitely something for Pro and World Championship teams to think about, and you've really got to plan the strategy well in order to do well here.
Thomas Sadler, quickest of the race currently. 17.4 fast lap of the race, as I said before. 3/10 quicker than Daniel Kiss, who is second in the fastest lap standings at the moment. So Thoman is actually having a 1:18.1 as quickest lap. Sadler has a 17.4, so that is 7/10 quicker than Thoman. I think Thoman knows what is going on here, and this is also why Thoman is a very good driver. He's very intelligent too. He knows he doesn't have to push right now, as we see Patrick Holzman into the pits finally. So will we see him on the super soft tire now?
Yes,
he goes to the super soft.
Yeah, he nearly actually missed the entry to the because of his tyres being that worn. He nearly missed it, so it's a good job he didn't. But this has not put him in a great position. He's now in 5th and has got Norbert Leitner and Garcia both in front of him, which will have to clear him, which they'll have to get out of the way, since there will be a blue flag. But now this is going to be dirty air, but now he's got DRS, so that'll definitely be an advantage. But you've got Garcia and Leitner having a battle as well, so this may hurt Holzman quite hard. So, but Garcia's just gone a little bit wide.
Oh, look at Valeriano, and then even the Need going side by side, and Daniel comes through too. Valeriano went wide, then even the Need is in 11th and Valeriano 12th. They had a great battle, I think, and Daniel Kiss luckily managed to get... Oh, Patel! Valeriano hits Patel. Patel loses his front wing and has to go back into the pits. Nightmare for Patel.
That's so unfortunate for Patel.
Very
and
unlucky.
The Avid Chronic Racing car, he just got on and that just flipped the car around, and Patel had nowhere to go, and he just went in, and that's now destroyed Patel's race effectively, because now he's got a pit. He's going to lose about 20 seconds, and now he's going to lose a sizable margin to Jeroen. But now Jeroen's got an excellent chance to win this race. He's now 5 seconds from Daniel Kiss, and he's lapping very quickly. So if he can just tyres and maintain this kind of pace, he will go on to win this race. And he's just been so consistent this race, and he's doing a fantastic job for Precision Motorsports.
Wow, do I feel bad for Patel? I do, like seriously. Patel goes out now back in 8th position. Very long pit stop, of course, as he had to repair a new front wing for him. But oh man, he must be so disappointed. The thing is, as well, it is out of his hands. He couldn't do anything about that. It is very unfortunate for Patel, and as I said, it's out of his hands. He couldn't do anything about it, and that is usually the worst thing, really. It's a nightmare for him. He was lapping really quick. Well, I think he actually has the fastest lap of the race currently. Yes, he has. So Patel was doing a good job as well. Oh man, what a shame.
That is a great shame for him, and he's now in P8 as well, and he's got to overtake all these cars in front of him. But let's not forget Marco Conti and Martin Hodas, both doing a good job in P6 and P7. And this is, you know, Conti with this pace, he's doing very well, and he will get a good amount of points. But now Patel is going to lose even more points to Jiri Toman, and also he might have suspension damage from the car. So
yeah.
From the crash, so that may also affect his tyre wear and his speed as well. So he's going to need to really push now to try and maximise the amount of points he gets.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, he might have some suspension damage too, and this is a shame for him. He definitely did not need this, and he doesn't deserve it either. But coming back to the lead, we have to. Jiri Toman still first, leading Daniel Kiss, of course, but I had a look, and Kiss last lap was about 6/10 quicker than Toman. So whether Toman is just saving his tires or he made a mistake, I'm not sure. This lap it seems like it's a bit more stable, although Kiss gained another 3/10 in the first sector, gained a 10th in the second sector. So actually what I said is not right. Daniel Kiss is still gaining quite a bit. Let's see how the final sector goes. 24.1 for Toman and a 23.7 for Kiss, 4/10 quicker. He gained another 7/10 on the final lap on Toman. The gap is now 4 seconds.
Yeah, indeed it is, and whether Kiss is going to be able to catch Toman now. So it's going to be a really interesting battle if this does happen, and if Kiss doesn't make any mistakes and he just carries on the way he's doing, and he will be able to catch Toman and possibly win this race.
No, 3/10.
Yeah, exactly.
First sector, yeah, you're right.
But also whether Jiri's just trying to save his tyres, and whether Kiss is really pushing hard and Kiss is destroying his tyres. But we'll have to find out come 5 laps to go before the end of the race.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And well, we see Patel, of course, flying on the back of Hodes, having the DRS. Don't know if he's able to get past. It seems like he's quite a way back, so I don't see an overtake yet. See if he can brake late. No, he's not going to dive bomb in there. He's smart enough as he cuts back on Hodes, trying to get a good exit, which he did so indeed. Very smart driving from Patel as he picks up more and more slipstream, has the advantage. Hodes defending inside, Patel around the outside. Can he make it? No, he goes for the cutback. And around the outside here, that's not going to work probably. No, even with that much grip from those tires, it's not going to work. But Hodes is under huge pressure now from Patel. So we see Patel drop it off slightly on the back of Hodes, which is quite usual in that final sector. Although look at that, Patel is really pushing through the final corner. Patel is flying right now, of course, on those first set of tires. I presume we will see an overtake during this lap if he can keep close enough to Hodes, as he had quite a bit of understeer through the first corner, which of course makes sense thanks to the dirty air. Of course he will have DRS. It depends on his exit now out of this corner. It needs to be good, and it is indeed good. We should see an overtake here for sure.
Yeah, indeed.
There he goes, opening up the DRS. Down the inside for the hairpin, and the move is already done, I think, before the hairpin. But look at that, Hodes. Oh, leave space. Guys, be careful now. Hodes trying to get him back, but Patel once again is smart enough, and he gets the place. P7 for Patel. Next target for Patel is Conti, who is lapping in 6th position, and he is actually good. Conti is doing really good this race. Starting from last position, 6th position. Well, awesome, with a drive-through penalty as well. Good job from Conti, of course. And I don't really think that Patel, maybe he's able to catch up, but I don't really think so. I think the gap is quite big, so, well, who knows, 7 laps to go though. Everything can happen.
Yeah, indeed it can. Conti, like you said, is doing a fantastic job. But let's not forget Thomas Sadler, because he's now 3 seconds away from Holzman, and he's in P3. He's doing a fantastic job for Go Speed, and if he can maintain his tyre wear and maintain that pace, he'll get a fantastic place on the podium, and then he'll be 5 for the sprint race. So, you know, he's doing a fantastic job for Go Speed Racing.
Yeah, good point. But look at Patrick Holzman again, following him too, lapping about 3/10 quicker over the course of this lap. Holzman was 2/10 quicker in the first sector, and in the second sector Holzman wasn't quicker than Sadler actually, so it seems like that gap is stabilizing too. Same for the gap between Kiss and Toman. Kiss is slightly falling off, but at the same time he's not falling off that much, because he is still 6/10 quicker than Toman, and of course his tires are, or his times rather, are dropping down a little bit, like they become a little bit slower, which has to be expected because tire wear is of course becoming more and more an issue. But still, he's doing such a good job. 2.6 now. Daniel Kiss having a fantastic race actually.
Yeah, indeed he is, but it's a question of whether Toman can maintain his tyre wear, but Kiss has also got the issue of passing Toman. Toman is a really good driver, but they both are. So we'll have to see how that pans out, and I just want to answer a mistake what I made, which was he'll end up being P6, Tom Sadler.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, you're definitely right on that. And this lap, I think Toman is picking up the pace a little bit, so whether he was saving his tires or I think he was saving his tires slightly as well. And Daniel Kiss of course pushing, but as you have said, if Daniel Kiss manages to catch up to Toman, then you know, catching up is one thing, but overtaking is the other thing. And with probably more worn tires than Toman, because I think it's the fact that Kiss is pushing more than Toman, and his tires are probably, you know, in a worse shape than Toman, and then you know it's hard to overtake them as well. Last lap though, Kiss was 4/10 slower than the laps he put in before. He was doing high 17s before, he's now doing low 18s, which is exactly the times Toman has been putting in the whole time. I mean, Toman has been really consistent, which could indeed indicate to him saving some tires. And well, in fact, Daniel Kiss was 1/100th of a second slower last lap than Toman.
And Holzman just got a little bit over the curb entering into the third sector, and he's really starting to catch up on to Thomas Sadler. And whether Sadler will be able to maintain this lead, we'll have to find out. But Holzman's tyres are looking quite worn now, and Thomas Sadler's are looking okay for the moment. But we'll have to see if Holzman passes Sadler, but the gap between Jeroen and Daniel Kiss is 2.5 seconds. He's now got traffic, and he's got Gobby in front of him, the other Go Speed Racing driver, and we'll have to see. Well, Gobby should just let Toman through, so he doesn't really hold up the Precision driver as he does nicely, and Daniel Kiss is also having to go through that traffic, and it's coming up right now, and again Gobby will just let him through.
There's something wrong with Boyer Garcia. I have seen him in the pits 2 times in 2 laps time, so there's definitely something wrong. He has had a long pit stop, though I'm actually surprised that his engine isn't overheating. He has been sitting in the pits for already like 30 or 40 seconds, so probably Garcia has spun or something like that, damaged his suspension, and now it needs to be repaired. So not a great race from Garcia either, as he has been lapped for the 3rd time. But anyway, coming back onto the battle, indeed, we see Patrick Holzman lapping quicker and quicker and catching up to Sadler more and more. And actually, Sadler, I think he's going to have to go defensive already, as we see Holzman very close behind him. So, well, Sadler has to do an amazing job here in order to keep Holzman behind. Let's see if he can do that. Sadler had a better exit, I think, than Holzman on the exit of turn 4. So that might help Sadler, that will help Sadler actually down this straight, heading towards the hairpin, and indeed Holzman is way too far back right now. So Holzman needs to improve his exit out of turn 4 in order to really attack Sadler, as we see Sadler having a little bit of wheel spin out of the hairpin. So don't know about his tires, but he is still on those super soft tires. It's unbelievable how he's actually still lapping reasonably well on those tires. I'm gonna have a look. I think he went on those tires in lap 23, so he has been on these tires for about 14 laps long. It's amazing to still see him going this well and lapping this well, but at the same time Holzman is very close behind, and I wouldn't be surprised if Holzman overtakes him quite soon. He's all over the back as they enter lap 38 right now. 2 laps to go for Jeroen Thoman, and he goes down the inside for turn 1, having a look, but no, not gonna work. But he is so close here. He's already going to attack for turn 2 probably. Is he? There he goes down the inside. Sadler leaves room. Leave room, guys. And Holzman indeed takes the position. Sadler trying to cut back, but no, that didn't work. And will Holzman actually have DRS right now too? I'm not sure. I don't think he has. No, he doesn't. So Sadler has DRS right now. And is he coming back? Is Sadler going to come back? Holzman goes defensive for the inside. Takes the inside line for hairpin. Sadler goes around the outside, braking very late. Needs to do the undercut now, the cut back, switch back. No, not working. Sadler doesn't have the tires to do that really. You saw it on the exit there, having the wheel spin, and no, Sadler, no, definitely not able to defend that podium position. Nonetheless, I think Sadler has done a good job this race. Needs to keep this up for 2 more laps, and then he finishes in 4th position. I don't see him attacking Holzman anymore, and Holzman is already pulling away, in fact.
Yeah. And now Jeroen's just coming around the final corner for the last lap of this feature race of this A series in Hockenheim, and the gap between Jeroen and Daniel Kiss is now 2.5 seconds. So if Jeroen just makes no mistakes and just carries on the way he's doing, he will go and take this victory.
For sure, and what a solid drive it was from Jeroen Thoman, being very smart, good strategy calls, to be honest, and I think he deserves his win, so just needs to keep it up, more corners, and props to Daniel Kiss too for putting up quite a good fight, even though they weren't close to each other on track. I think Daniel Kiss has shown that he has the pace for sure, and still he is lapping quicker than Thoman. Of course, Thoman doesn't need to push, but still, I think Daniel Kiss is doing really good this race. Same for Patrick Holzman, who was in 3rd position. Although I do think that Patel should have been in that 3rd position, but of course we saw Patel going off, and Conti is worth mentioning too, still in 6th position. Conti has done an amazing job, to be honest.
Yeah, indeed he has. And now we've got Jeroen coming around the final few corners to take victory in Hockenheim. Fantastic job from the Precision Motorsports driver, weaving around. He is delighted with that victory. Fantastic job from Daniel Kiss to get 2nd, to come back in the A series and get 2nd place, and fantastic job for Holzman as well. That's two drivers from Twister on the podium. That's a fantastic job. And Thomas Sadler, another great job from the Go Speed driver. Johnny Simons coming around the final corner to take P5, and I think he'll be quite satisfied with that. And there is Johnny Simon, and then we've got Conti doing a fantastic job for Twister. Patel, I'm sure he'll be very disappointed that he's only got P7 when he was right up there. It was really unfortunate for Patel. Hopefully he can do well come the sprint race, and Hodas is just crossing the line, take P8. Then we've got Helmbro 15 seconds behind Hodas to take 9. And he's now come around the final corner to take P9. And then we've got Gottlieb in P10. And can you round out the rest of the grid for us, Jeroen?
For sure. Then even Anit finished in 11th place. Crown 7 Networks probably won't be too happy with that, I would say. Norbert Lina in 12th. We've seen him having issues. The car definitely didn't look stable for him. Aslamagen in 13th. Sebastian Dunkel in 14th. Boyar Casilla in 15th. Valeriano, he retired in lap 27 thanks to a suspension failure. Then we have Daniel Bida, 17th, retired from suspension failure 2 in lap 1. Thomas Mandi retired from suspension damage 2, and we saw that happening at the exit of turn 1. So, well, I would say that Jeroen Thoman has deserved this victory. He has done an amazing job. Congratulations to Jeroen for that. Next will be the sprint race, 20 laps long. Should be interesting too to see, as the top 8 will be reversed for that race. And well, as you have said before, Jeroen doing a good job. I think the whole top 4 has done an amazing job, really, in terms of driving. Johnny Sima had quite a silent race actually, but still managed to pick up a solid 5th position. And Conti, well, what a race from him, starting from the back with a drive-through penalty, P6, and Patel being unlucky.
Yeah, indeed, it was very.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Well, welcome back everyone. Welcome back to this race. Should have an interesting sprint race here with Hoda starting from pole position as he finished 8th in the feature race. Patel in 2nd. So Patel, I think he wants to prove himself here. He starts from the dirty side, however, so that will be well, it will be a difficult start for him for sure. But so I think he wants to prove himself here. Starting from 2nd place, I think he has a good chance to do that. Then we see Seaman starting in 3rd position, which is actually interesting. I want to see how he does in this sprint race, starting from P3. See if he can hold on to that. Sadler is in 4th position, Patrick Holzman in 5th, and Daniel Kiss in 6th. And we see Jeroen in 7th, and Peter Hambro in 8th. Now you might wonder, where is Conti? Well, Conti is in 18th place. Yet another back of the grid penalty for this race, so for the sprint race. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure whether he needs to do a drive-through penalty as well in the sprint race. It says drive-through penalty, Marco Conti, and that's it. So I don't know if that was for the feature race or it also is for the sprint race. We will find out for sure as we are on our formation lap. So Hodes is in 1st, as said before. Let's go down the field. So Jeroen is in 7th. Interesting to see what he can do behind Daniel Kiss. Peter Hambro in 8th, Fabrizio Gabbi in 9th, Danny Benedict in 10th, and James, you can go and take us for the rest of the field if you want.
Okay, so we've got Norbert Leitner in 11th place, we've got Azam Lajan in 12th, Dunkel in 13th, Garcia in 14th, Bagliano in 15th, Bida in 16th, Mundy in 17th, and Conti in 18th. And whether Mundy is not running or he's not running at all in the sprint race, we'll have to find out.
And we're off, lights out, and away we go for the sprint race. Mohamed Patel has quite a good start actually from the dirty side on the inside of Seaman. And Seaman going around the outside actually of Patel. Good job from Seaman. You see a little smoke in the back, but I think it all went clean. James, have you seen the back?
Yeah, it was all pretty clean, and now we've got Mundy has just come out of the pits, so let's just see if there's any more incidents. And Garcia is just off the track, and let's just hope Mundy can continue and not get involved in any incidents and get some good points for fastening the speed.
Holzman down the inside of Sevely. Sevely hangs it on the outside. Oh, look at that, very tight through that hairpin. Once again, it looks very clean, to be honest, through that hairpin. As we see Danko, though, off track. I don't know if he made a mistake himself or whether he made contact. And Seaman, what a great start from Seaman, who was all over the back of Hodes currently. Great start from Seaman. Let's see if he can get past. But what a start though, and Sevely under pressure from Patrick Holzman too. And Patel lost one position there, but that had to be expected as he started from the dirty side. But Seaman is currently shining like a bright star, to be honest. He is all over the back of Hodes, and it won't surprise me if he even overtakes him before the DRS gets activated. So we see Patrick Holzman again. Whoa, Patrick Holzman running wide out of the final corner. It definitely didn't give him a good exit out of that corner for sure.
Yeah, like you said, Simon is looking very racy behind Hodes. He's now got DRS. He's now going to cross the DRS detection line. There it is.
Yeah, but
and now
it's lap 1. I don't think it's activated yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not activated.
That's what happens when you don't commentate for a while.
Don't worry. We all make mistakes. Yeah, he is indeed too far back right now without the DRS to overtake. But look at that, he braked so late for the hairpin. Seaman seems incredibly confident at the moment with his car setup. And worth mentioning though is that he is on the super soft tire instead of Hodes, who is on the soft tire. So I don't think 20 laps is possible on the super soft. So will we see a pit stop from everyone who is on the super soft tire? I'm not sure. We have to find out, I think.
Well, if you go on the basis of the feature race, then we're definitely going to look for a pit stop. But you would expect the people that are on the soft tyres to just finish the race on these tyres. But whether Simon can, make these tyres work and go for a pit and still do well, we'll have to find out.
Jeroen currently is 7th, still behind Daniel Kiss, so nothing happened there. But there definitely happened some things at the front with Patel losing a position and Sadler having a good job doing a good job right now on those tires, the super soft tires. And well, a lot of people are actually on the super soft tires, so it's interesting because Hodas is the leader and he is on soft, as we see him on the threat from Seaman, and Seaman with DRS now, which has been activated, he might have even get past now. It's crucial for Hodas to stay in front, but Seaman around the outside of the hairpin, they make contact I think a little bit, and now comes Patel. Look at Patel, and Patel, yes, got past Hodas, so tricky conditions there through that hairpin, and Hodas being the loser there, losing 2 positions both to Simon Patel and Patel, but now he's on the threat from 72. So this is interesting as we have a train here. Basically the whole top 7 is within, well, what is it, 4 seconds or something like that from each other. Very interesting battle over here.
Yeah, well now you'd expect someone to now just pull away with them super soft tyres, but as we saw in the feature race, they don't. The tyres on, well, the super soft tyres just don't really get a huge gap, but he's now a second from Mohammed Patel, and now we can see it was really unfortunate for Martin Hodas, but now he's going to have Sadler with DRS, but then Hodas is going to get DRS from Mohammed Patel, so whether Sadler has enough top speed to pass the Precision Motorsports car, but he is right behind him, but Sadler really does need to pass this Precision Motorsports car because he is on the super soft tyre, so he needs to get past and try and edge out a gap. And that's very late braking, and did he?
He didn't touch, but he went off track for sure.
I thought that was lag. That was really unfortunate for Sully, and he can't get back on the track. And he's now dropped down to P9. He just completely missed his braking point. Really unfortunate for the Ghost Speed driver.
Wow. That was very close between the 2 drivers, and oh, wow, I cannot believe that Sadler actually doing a good job at avoiding him. But of course, we see Patrick Holzman's car wiggling quite a bit. Of course, he shouldn't have been in that position. I mean, you should brake a little bit earlier for that. Of course, I don't know if this is a concentration mistake. It probably is, but this could cost him quite a lot.
And also, I think Sadler's got a penalty from that incident. He's in the pits now, and he's got a, whether this is a stop and go or it's a drive through, I think it's a stop and go. Yeah, it is indeed a stop and go penalty. Whether that's for a cutting or whether that was the actual incident, we'll have to find out, but that's definitely a 10-second penalty. Hasn't changed tyres, and that's really unfortunate for Sadler. He's now at the back of the grid, and he's now 12 seconds from Garcia.
Yep. Meanwhile, Patrick Holzman went by Hodas, so Hodas dropping more and more on this soft tire, and Hodas definitely not having the pace which we have seen from his teammate Jeroen, and in fact Jeroen is now quite close to Hodas. But look at Conti, sorry, not Conti, Daniel Kiss in 6th position. He's quite close to Toman, but Toman must have overtaken Daniel Kiss actually, because I remember Toman being behind Daniel Kiss before.
Yeah, but whether Martin Hodas will now let his teammate Jeroen through, because perhaps Martin Hodas will hold up Shiri, and Shiri really does need to pass him, so pass him, so he can go and attack the twister cars.
Very good point. Yeah, I'm interested to see that. If he's going to let him by, it probably is down the straight before the hairpin. As we see, well, I think I saw Danny Van der Niet having a poor exit of turn 1, and now Norbert Liedner tries to attack him. Currently not close enough for Norbert Liedner, and let's see. Hodas does seem like he's going to let Toman by, as the gap is pretty big behind the gap is pretty big between them. But now Liedner having DRS on Danny Van der Niet. Danny Van der Niet goes defensive for the hairpin. Liedner has to go around the outside, braking late, the pair of them. Norbert Liedner going around the outside. Leave room, guys, leave room. Bit of contact I think could have been lag related as well. But Danny Van der Niet, however, is still in front of Liedner. So think good defensive driving from Danny Van der Niet, although I think they made slight contact and Danny Van der Niet goes wide, and that is the position gained then for Liedner. And Danny Van der Niet is now going to be attacked by Peter Helmbro down the inside for this corner. Oh, this is going to be a fantastic move, probably, if he can make it stick. Peter Helmbro can make it stick. What a move from Peter Helmbro down and inside. That is definitely not overtake position, but look at Daniel Kiss and Hodas now. Wow, what happened there? I suddenly see
Hodas let Chiri through, and now he's come under attack from Daniel Kiss, and now Daniel Kiss has passed him. We've also got Thomas Sadler is now out of the race. He's left the server, so
not happy.
No, indeed.
Definitely not happy. Hodas now behind Kiss. I don't see Hodas returning or recovering from that, so that's the position for Kiss. Hodas not recovering from that. But look at this, Peter Holzman now down the inside of Patel. Patel trying to undercut, but no, they are teammates. Be clever here. I think Patrick Holzman is really quick actually in this race. I keep saying Holzman for some reason, but Patrick Holzman, I think he's doing a good job this weekend so far, this day. And he has a good pace, but I don't think, I don't know actually if he has the pace to attack Seaman. Because Seaman is doing an awesome job, let's be honest. He is about 2.3 seconds, I would say, in front of Patrick Holzman. So whether Patrick Holzman can close that gap down, we'll have to find out. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, well, Chiri's, apologies, Johnny's doing a fantastic job for Positive SimRacing. I've just got some news from Thomas Sadler, is that he got, when he went off, he got a penalty for cutting, and then he also got another penalty for cutting again. I'm not too sure why he got two penalties extra as well to the one he already had from cutting, apparently from braking too late. But well, that's really unfortunate for Thomas, but we'll have to see him for the next round, and let's hope he can do well also in the next round.
Yeah, that is a shame for Sadler. It's a little bit weird having so many penalties. Don't know what's going on there. Holzman, hey, Holzman, what happened there? I suddenly saw him completely to the right of after the hairpin. He just picked up a little bit of full spin, I think, and that's why he went to the right or something like that. Either way, actually, I said last lap that I wouldn't be surprised if Seaman actually, well, I wouldn't be surprised if Holzman couldn't close the gap. But having said that, Holzman closed the gap in 1 lap time by 0.8 of a second. So Holzman flying, and Holzman putting in a very strong performance actually these two races actually. So the gap is just over a second right now. Holzman is flying, gained another 0.5, so half a second in the final sector. Holzman might actually be already in DRS range if he can be within a second in the DRS detection point, which he might be. I'll have a look at his rear wing and whether it opens. It doesn't actually, so no, Simon must have had a good first sector because Peter Holzman wasn't close enough to get DRS. Jeroen running quite a silenced race so far, but in 4th position, and I think he is very quick actually. Having a look at his last lap time, Thoman is slightly down on Patel, so he lost about 1/10 to Patel. So Patel and Holzman, I mean, suddenly the twister cars are really strong here, and they have the edge over Thoman now. And see if they can get up for 12 laps long. Yeah,
indeed. And now we've got Holzman, which is actually catching up to the Positive SimRacing car. And if Holzman can, and we've actually got Holzman in the pits as well, so he's trying to undercut the Positive SimRacing car. So he
yeah, he definitely is.
He should go onto the soft tyres, or he might go for the
might see him
soft.
on the super soft actually. 12 laps on the super soft, that seems possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does so. Yeah, Holzman on the super soft, but it will be crucial now to see where he ends up. If he ends up in clean air, he can run some quick laps. Here he comes out of the pit lane, and he ends up in traffic actually behind Beda. and in front of Thomas Mundy and Valeriano is in there too. So 11th place for Holzman currently. He needs to get rid of these guys as quick as he can, and actually he is already all over the back of Bida with those first tires. Runs a little bit wide there, definitely off the track. He has DRS however, and this should be a straightforward pass with new tires, although Bida has DRS too, which compromises the effect Holzman is going to get. And actually Bida having a good straight line speed. Holzman has to go around the outside as we see Marco Conti overtaking Dunkel too on the entry of the hairpin. No, actually not. Dunkel still has that place, and Holzman went down the inside of Bida. So Holzman now in 10th position. Next target for him is Valeriano. So now it is up to Patel to see what he can do in terms of lap time and comparing himself against Simon. Because Simon, let's see what kind of lap time he is doing. 119.1 from Simon, 118.3 from Patel, 8/10 over the course of one lap again. Twister is looking very here. That's just the way it is, because Patel also was 3/10 quicker than Thoman, and that says something because Thoman was quick too during the first race as well. So Patel doing good. What is going on with Holzman? Holzman have... Whoa! Final corner! Yeah, Holzman had hit the back of Valeriano.
I've also got Bida in the wall as well, and that's his race over. He's lost his front wing.
Well, chaos suddenly. Lap 10 of the race, and Holzman, I don't think... He may have lost his wing end plate. He has indeed, which might affect his downforce performance slightly, but... What was that? I mean... Holzman, he should have seen that coming, I think. He has the freshest set of tires. Valeriano was on all the self tires. I don't see Valeriano suddenly slamming on the brakes on the exit of the corner, so it was just an unfortunate hit from Holzman probably to Valeriano.
Yeah, indeed. And now Thomas is doing a good job, you know, to say he's come from the pit lane to P9. It's a very respectable job for the Fast and Speed Jeroen. They need some points on the board, and actually Holzman has just gone wide, and perhaps he's struggling with tyre wear even though he's just pitted, so, or perhaps that was just a mistake or perhaps a concentration. But
yeah, he probably needs to get back into a good flow after that mistake. He's all over Mundy though, so once again he needs to clear Mundy as quick as possible if he really wants to end up in the podium even, because I think he surely lost about 5 seconds with that mistake as he spun around a couple of times. But now on the back of Mundy, see if he can overtake him. Take us through this overtake if you can, James.
And he's just going through into the hairpin. He's broke quite late, so whether Mundy will get the putback, no he doesn't. But also with him losing that end plate, he's now got more top speed in that Twister racing car, so you'd expect him to just go straight past the Fast and Speed car. But anyway, he's now in P9, and whether a podium has gone for him, I think it has, because he's now only got 8 laps to go, and unless he goes on a serious charge, sadly he's not going to get a podium in this race.
Yeah, I think Simon has suddenly realized that he should drive a little bit quicker, because suddenly he is 2/10 quicker than Patel, and that is amazing really, considering Patel was 8/10 quicker before. Now Simon is quicker by 2/10 a lap, so Simon upping his pace, and that was definitely needed. I think he's just trying to keep Patel out of his DRS range. I mean, he is fine with whatever gap he can have to Patel, but once Patel gets within that 1 second, he wants to get him out of it as quick as he can, in order to prevent him from getting DRS, and he does so pretty well, I must say.
Yeah.
Once again, this lap he's doing quite well. Let's see, 2/10 now, so gained about 2/10 in the middle sector, but Patel is too far back at the moment to get DRS for the next lap.
Yeah, indeed. But whether Johnny can hold on to these tyres or he has to pit, well, but I think Johnny must pit, because surely his tyres will go off. But in fact, they're looking quite worn on the left front now at the moment, so he may have to pit, and he's just gone wide and he's on the grass, so Holzman's just gonna Okay, Holzman's not going to try and overtake him. He's going to wait for the DRS
It's Patel, sorry.
activation line. Now Johnny's got oversteer. And now whether Patel will be able to pass the positives from racing car, he should be able to, because now Johnny's lost so much speed. But Patel isn't all that quick. But if Johnny just holds the inside line like he has done, he'll just maintain the position. But we haven't expected Jeroen to come and get P3, and he's now now he's getting because of these two fighting, he's now getting closer to both Johnny and Patel. So whether Jeroen can also get another win here, we'll have to find out. But do you know if Jeroen's on the soft tyres?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So if Jeroen just gets past Patel, he will pass him and could take the win here of this sprint race, which will be an amazing achievement for the Precision Motorsports driver. But Johnny's still not gone in the pits, so maybe he's trying to get these tyres to last all the way, but that may be too hard for the super soft tyres. But now we've got Jeroen with DRS on Mohamed Patel, but because Mohamed Patel is here within the second to Johnny Simon, we're now we might not see Jeroen pass him, but Jeroen's getting closer, and if Jeroen just tries to cut back, but Mohamed Patel blocks the line that Jeroen was trying to take. But this duel is looking very close, and we've got Daniel Kiss 2.3 seconds away from Jeroen, so he may come into play if these three continue to battle.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right here, and actually Patel is very quick and half a second down on Simon, but he needs to keep it up through the final sector, but that is so difficult because he loses quite a bit of downforce here, which is definitely needed for these corners. Although Patel, I would say the gap is still about half a second, even closer probably, even 4/10, so Patel might have a good chance here. Yeah, it is 3.5 tenths. Patel might have a good chance here to overtake Simon with the DRS. Let's wait and see.
So now Mohamed Patel's got DRS on Jeroen. He's now seen the DRS activation, and now he's going to try and pass the positives from racing car. He really does need to pass Johnny Simon, because if he doesn't, he's just going to get Jeroen getting closer and closer, and possibly Jeroen may pass Patel, and this is a real fight for the championship as well. So Patel really does need to pass Johnny, otherwise he could face Toman overtaking Patel. I've also got Valiano is out of the race. He's left the server, so perhaps he had an accident or he was just too far back.
Yeah. It says a suspension damage, so okay. He probably crashed, yeah. But interesting is that Patel has good downforce, we all see that. I mean, he's very quick through the corners, but he lacks straight line speed, and that is what you need for overtaking, even with DRS. Simon is just very quick down the straights every single time basically, and even Jeroen, you can see Jeroen catching up to Patel, even though both have DRS, but Toman has still the advantage on Patel with the DRS. And once again, I think Patel is just too far back. Let's actually have a look at the top speed from Patel and Toman, as Patel indeed has DRS, but again too far back, 316 kilometers an hour. That's not bad actually, but I think Jeroen just hits the ref limiter early, as suddenly Patel has had I think Simon just had a poor hairpin, and Patel is very close to him now, but once again not close enough. Simon goes defensive for turn 8 and has a poor exit thanks to that. That compromises his exit quite a bit actually. Patel going for the undercut, not going to work, and look at Toman though, waiting for an accident probably.
Yeah, he's only 3/10 behind the Twister racing car, but also this is going to be destroying Mohamed Patel's tyres, because he's getting the dirty air from the positives from racing car, and his tyres are going to be sliding all over the place. So Mohammed Patel, it's now or never to get past Johnny Simon, otherwise he will not get past the Positive Sim Racing car.
It indeed is now or never, and once again he's the 2 tenths back at the end of the lap, but I think Seaman just all the time has a good first sector. But although now Patel has had a beautiful first corner, look at that, Seaman's tires just don't give grip on the exit there. You see his car wiggling all over the place, and this is Patel's best chance. He's already alongside, opens up the DRS. This should be an easy move for Patel. Seaman defends the inside, and look at Thomas.
Yeah, that's a pass. Oh, it's huge contact. Oh, Johnny's just ran into the back of Patel, and that's really unfortunate. Now Jeroen is fighting for the lead with Johnny, and this has worked out so well for Jeroen. He's now got a chance to take the victory here. So this is now looking very racy. Them tyres on the Positive Sim Racing car have gone, and whether Johnny just tries to nurse these tyres home for the finish line, but that would be an amazing feat if he can last 20 laps on them super soft tyres. People have been struggling to make 10 laps with around about 130 litres of fuel. So, you know, if Johnny can continue in first place, then that is an amazing achievement for the Positive Sim Racing driver, but he will face the stewards with that incident between him and Patel.
I think Thomas needs to be patient here, and I think he will be patient because he sees Seaman struggling with his tires, and the longer he waits, the more Seaman will struggle on his tires. Well, look at that defensive already as Thomas opens up his DRS, and too far back probably at the moment. Yeah, but as I said, Thomas just needs to be patient. He knows that the tires from Seaman aren't in a good shape, and every time you see that at the exit of the corner, the opponents from Seaman just all the time have a better exit than him, and it only will become better and better for the opponents as Johnny Seaman's tires will fall off more and more. And indeed, he makes a mistake, and there goes the first place for Thomas.
Yeah, and he's just gone some marbles and just got a little bit of oversteer, but now Johnny Simon's just trying to attack the the Precision Motorsports car, and this is great racing between both drivers, but Johnny's tyres are too far gone. But Jeroen in first place, and now Johnny's gone wide. And if he could maintain second place, he's done a fantastic job for Barcross Positive Sim Racing. But now Jeroen leads, one more lap to go, and this is an amazing race for Jeroen if he can just hold on to this first place. As you can see, Johnny's car isn't really braking that well, and he's completely missing the apexes. His tyres are completely destroyed.
Yeah, indeed, you're absolutely right here, but I must say that Seaman has some real fighting spirit, and once again he got overtaken by Daniel Kiss, but still has a look on the inside, just wants to get him back. He even gives a slight bump, I think, on the hairpin. That might be lag too, but still. And how about Patel? I mean, can Patel still overtake him for a podium slot? You don't know, because Seaman's tires are so destroyed, as you have mentioned before. On the exit of the corners, you can see his car wiggling so much, and well, I don't know if Patel is able to overtake. Meanwhile, Thoman, amazing race once again. I think he's going to take another win here.
Yeah, that'll be an amazing job for the Precision Motors driver, and whether Patel is going to try and pass him. There's a bit of contact between both drivers.
Oh, no.
Is that lag?
Nope, Patel's in the wall.
And Patel's gone again. Oh, he's in the gravel. That's so unfortunate for the racing driver.
Yeah.
He's had such an unlucky weekend, and you've got to feel for the Twister Racing driver.
Well, I was gonna say, what a move from Patel as we have finished the race, but what a final sector of the race. I thought that Patel had the move stick there, and he made a move stick, but then I think he just got bumped in his rear or something like that by Seaman. I need to have a look at the replay because I couldn't really judge. Meanwhile, the top 10 has already finished. What a race! Colby is going to finish in 11th place, and Thomas Mundy in 12th. Thomas Mundy didn't have a good day here, to be honest. Jeroen though picks up another win. What a win for for Toman.
Yeah.
And he carries the momentum right now with him as well after the summer break. This is crucial for Toman.
Yeah, indeed
I'm gonna
it
have a
is.
look at the replay actually.
Yeah, there was definitely lag between both of the drivers, at least for me it was. And then Patel just got off, and they just like spawned off the Bicross Positive Sim Racing car, and then they just made contact and Patel went into the wall. But a fantastic job for Jiri. I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted with that. So we'll just run through the top 10. So we've got Jiri Toman. What a race for Jiri. He's in first place. Then we've got another fantastic drive for Daniel Kiss to get second place again. Johnny Simon in third place, done a fantastic job for Positive Sim Racing. We've got Martin Honas. He's had a quiet race and has now got P4. Patel, really unfortunate for him, and I'm sure he'll be very disappointed, but you have to feel for the British driver. And then we've got Norbert Leitner, a good result for the Faster Than Speed driver in P6. Then we've got Patrick Holzman in 7th place for Twister Racing. Then we've got Marco Conti in P8, Danny Randoni in 9th place, and Gobby rounds out our top 10. Can you take us through the rest of the field, Jeroen?
For sure. Thomas Mundy finishes in 11th place, Sebastian Danko in 12th, doing a better job than in the feature race, finishing in front of Aslamajan. Boyar Garcia in 14th, Peter Hambro in 15th, Valeriano retired in 16th, Daniel Bida retired in 17th, and Thomas Everly, we saw what happened with him, DNF, after he got a penalty, apparently for going wide. That is very weird. Meanwhile, I had a look at the replay, and well, I must say that I think they went side by side through corners 14 and 15. Now that is something which I haven't seen before. That is quite unusual to go side by side through there for sure. I think through turn 15, Patel expected Seaman to have backed off. But meanwhile, actually, Seaman didn't back off, so Seaman was still alongside him as Patel just went for the apex of the corner, and they hit each other. I think it's very unfortunate, actually, for both drivers, as I think that Seaman had the right to be there, even though his tires are of course worn. He has the right to be there. Well, it's my opinion, of course, but I think Patel didn't leave that much room on the entry, but of course lag could have been involved there, and I'm sure that actually there was some lag involved, which definitely affected the outcome really of the race, with Patel then hitting the wall again. But what an unfortunate weekend it was, or what an unfortunate day it was for Patel, I should say, because in the feature race as well we saw him having so much bad luck really, and wow, this is not what Patel had planned probably.
No, indeed, he didn't. But it's a really unfortunate weekend for Patel, but hopefully he comes back stronger for the next race, which is round 8, and I believe it is the Belgium Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's been a fantastic 2 races of this ACE series, and we will hopefully see you in round 8. Yeah. Round 8 of the Belgium Grand Prix. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you for the next round.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Thanks to Sam Jones for the cameras. Thank you, James Sadler, for being here. See you next time.
Thank you, Jeroen.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.